Hey, how are you?
I'm great, and so are you. Happy Friday to you. You know, a lot of people say, thank God it's Friday. You know what I say?
What do you say?
Thank God I'm still here.
I like that one too.
And they say, thank God it's Friday because they're working on a job that's not them. I don't have any work. What I do, I enjoy. I enjoy changing lives, laughing, making people feel good. That is something that it's stimulating to me and inspiring to me. Yes, indeed.
Well,
So yeah, I'm glad.
you just said you're never retiring.
People retire from work.
Mm-hmm.
You don't retire from something that brings you joy, something that you do that gives you a sense of significance, something that you do that allows you to make a difference in people's lives. If you are doing that, it's the combination of those things, plus you can make some money too. It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't, really. And so this is a great life. And this is something, the life that I'm living, there are people watching and listening right now. It's time for them to answer the call, because there are other people who love to make people feel good, to love to inspire people, love to do something that gives their lives a sense of significance and purpose. There are people who are watching right now are tired of being on a job where they're just doing it just to pay the bills, or someone looking for, what does the next chapter look like in my life? Now that I've lost my job from the coronavirus or artificial intelligence, where do I go from here? I answer that question today.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear it. But let's say hello first and see where people are watching us from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we've seen this one before. Slovakia?
Slovakia. All right. Hello. How are you?
We got NYC.
Okay. Thank you. And who's that? I don't have my glasses on.
I think that it's Hiba. I hope Hiba. So. We're from Egypt.
Okay.
Where the pyramids. We've talked about the pyramids before. So
that's one of the places I did not see on my bucket list that I did not see in my travels, but I'll see it virtually and be good with that. Go ahead.
Send us pictures, Hiba. Send us pictures. We're South Africa.
All right. Yes, indeed. I had an incredible time in South Africa. From Morocco. Hey, how are you, Muhammad? Yes, I spoke to a group of people in Morocco last week, and it was a great experience doing it virtually on a big screen with an audience full of people.
Oh, I like that. Richmond, Virginia. You ever been there?
Yes, absolutely. Michael Kelly, one of the greatest motivational speakers on the planet, his wife Sharon, he lives in Richmond, Virginia. He's a bad brother. I learned a lot from him. Yes.
And you know who lives here?
Don. Hello, Don. From Kansas City. I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. Come on now.
Every time I tell someone I live there, every time I tell someone I live in Kansas City, they either sing that song or they ask me about Wizard of Oz. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, yes. Trinidad and Tobago. Yes.
And Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
So we have people from all over today. So I think that they are ready for your message.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump out of here and let you tell us how we all can also never want to retire. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Yes. You know, when you look at your life, look at your goals, look at your dreams right now, and look at where we are, things have been disrupted. But you know, and I often repeat this quote. People say, opportunity knocks on every door. No, opportunity stands by silently, waiting for us, for you to recognize it. And so when you look at it right now, I can share with you that when I came back from Dubai and just got back just in time not to be quarantined, I'd have lost my mind up in there being in some room for 14 days. No, homie, don't do that. No, but I had to throw my net on the other side. This is the time you have to be versatile and you have to be practical and you have to also be the kind of person that can adapt to whatever life throws at you. And your master key, when I look at my life, when I was fired from radio, guess what? I used my ability to speak. When I also had a desire to do something different with my life, but I didn't know exactly what, and someone by the name of Harsh Perkins said less after I was fired from WVKO radio station in Columbus, Ohio. He came to my door on Sunbury Road and knocked on the door and gave me some petitions and said, sign here, you ought to run for state representative. I believe in angels. And I did, and I won hands down. Why? Because of my ability to tell a story. So I want to share with you that your voice and your story is your ticket to financial freedom. I have a friend who sells insurance, and I've spent some time with her, coaching her on how to present herself. And what was most important, and I'm going to share with you, and this is a series that I'm doing right now. And so what was most important is let her know, don't advance with selling your product. If you trust me on this one here, it's a master key. People who make a major difference in life and the difference in other people and their personal relationships are people who know how to communicate. Now, you take somebody like Warren Buffett. When he graduated from Harvard University, he took a class on how to become an effective communicator. Now, I remember when I was working on Miami Beach for this wealthy family, and David, his father gave him a boat, but he also told him, I want you to listen to these motivational messages. But before he gave that to him, he said, David, I want you to watch successful people and do what they do. And poor people don't do what they do. And so I was watching and listening to that conversation. And I took that to heart, what he said. And so what he was sharing with his son was, and these cassette tapes that he gave him, he said, learn how to express yourself. It's going to be major. And your ability to sell, to make a point, your ability to influence people, bring the best out of people, the ability to make an impact. So your story and your voice is your key to financial freedom. The person that I was working with just the other day, I called her, and I knew it was challenging for her. I was stretching her in the things that I was asking her to do. I said, how are things going? She said, my sales are off the hook. Thank you so much. My phone is blown up. I said, yes. Why? Because people listen to you. And in our conversation, one of the things I did, and I'm doing it with somebody here to my immediate right, every time I hear you say, you owe me $10. All my speakers go through this. And you know why? They did a survey, and they had this guy stand before an audience, and most people, the majority of people, say unthinkingly. One of the things I'd like to do today, I've been thinking, and what they found, that the audience tuned out after a certain number of alms and started counting the alms. And then they did a survey to find out how much of the information they retained. And what they discovered, that the audience only retained around 8 to 9% of the content of what that person intended for the audience to hear. Now, did a survey with another audience. This time he was conscious of not saying every other word, and they retained over 95% of the content. See, It is your master key. If you're doing an interview, they're listening to you. I know people who've gotten jobs and have any experience, no credentials in the area, and they got the job. Why? Because they can communicate. I know people who've gotten contracts to do stuff that they did not know how to do and went and subcontracted with somebody who did know what to do, and they got contracts. I'm one of them. I trained over 3,500 doctors in the United States and in Sweden. Know nothing about being a doctor, but I got a contract because I knew how to express myself. Your key to success is your voice and your story, and it's worth investing in yourself, in your story, in your ability to express yourself. And what does it do, Les? How will that help? One, it gives you instant credibility. We knew nothing about President Barack Obama, but when he spoke at the Democratic Convention, hey, somebody said, hey, that brother is presidential material. It makes a difference how people respond to you, your ability to communicate. And if you look at, and I said this the other day, not even in politics, it's determined. People are influenced how you tell your story, the story you tell about your opponent, the story your opponent tells about themselves, and the story your opponent tells about you. Your voice, your story is your ticket to financial freedom. If you want to build a multi-level marketing organization, if you want to sell products, real estate, finances, if you're involved in negotiating, if you want to do fundraising for your project, for your business, don't just go in there and say, oh, I've got a real tight contract here. I've got a real good proposal. They're not going to listen to the proposal. They're listening to you. You sound like you know what you're talking about because they're buying to you. They're looking at you. Who are you? Your ability to tell your story, that's your key to financial freedom. Your ability to hold attention. Attention is the new currency. Your ability to create an experience with the attention that you provide, now that creates a committed listening. And in the process of doing that, you inspire people to want to align themselves with you, to want to be a part of what it is that you're doing. How do you know this? How do I know it? I could not be here if I didn't know how to communicate. I have no college training. I was labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade at Douglas Elementary School in Miami and Overtown, and failed again at Booker T. Washington High School in the 8th grade. And when I met Mr. Washington, who was a speech and drama teacher, and everybody knew all of his students, they expressed themselves well. I admired him. I wanted to be like him. He interrupted my vision of myself. When I was in his class and he confronted me to do something that I said, I'm not one of your students. I want him to ask somebody else to do it. I was just there to see my friend. And he said, do it anyhow. And I said, I can't. And other kids, they were having fun laughing at me. Hey, he's DT. What's DT? He's a twin, but he's the dumb twin. His brother Wesley is smart. And I said, I am, sir. And this man, we eulogized him and we called him the great communicator. The great communicator came from behind his desk and he looked at me and he said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. People have that quote on their walls. People have that quote that they read on a regular basis. People say that one quote has interrupted their thinking on how they see themselves, because we live in a world where we're told more about our limitations. We label people constantly. I say label jars, not people. It establishes a level of credibility. And most people don't take the time to learn how to do it. They are unwilling because they don't know the value of putting in the time and the energy and getting the direction and the focus on how they can begin to improve their voice, the modulation of their voice, to create special moments. And over the next few days, I'll share some things with you, just as I'm doing right now. And a lot of people need this. A lot of people who are sitting on their story and their voice. Andy Enriquez come forward from Haiti. He tells a story about how his mother stood her ground and was on the verge of losing her house, but she was able to keep it and her business. Stacey N.C. Grant, she talks about things that she learned from her grandmother. Johnny Wimbrey, who wrote the book called, and I love this, From the Hood to Doing Good, ex-felon, was in a homeless shelter with his parents, his mother. And now he's speaking around the world, transforming people's lives, earned millions of dollars, earned his first million faster than I did. He was my first student. I tell you, your ability to tell your story. People are asking, who are you? What do you have? Why should I care? Oh, during this time, trust me, you are sitting on a gold mine. Because if you've gone through some stuff, if you've overcome some stuff, I heard a lady the other night on one of our calls, I said, oh my God. You know, sometimes you think you've gone through something, and you hear somebody else's story, and you say, you know what? That's okay. I'm glad I got my own stuff. Okay, I don't want to trade with nobody. Let me share something with you. Some things happen to you, but as you grow in consciousness and as you mature, I'm 75, and you realize they happen for you because they push you to challenge yourself. They push you to develop another skill. See, like, here's something I know. They got this saying, BYOB, be your own boss. When someone, a blind person's ability to hear is peaked. Why? Because they can't see. And so when I was fired, I developed some talents and abilities and skills. My being fired, when it first happened, I thought that was a horrible thing because I love radio. I did it very well. I love being Les Brown, the man about town, LB, Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing Papa. There were none before me and there will be none after me. Therefore, you know, I used to go there. I was bad when I was doing it. And when I got fired, I had to figure out, what am I going to do next? And I ran for the Ohio legislature at the urging of a friend and won, hands down, because of my ability to tell my story, because of my ability to connect with people, to create a committed listening. You can do that too. You got that in you too. But some of you are arguing with yourself, oh, that's not me. You're an extrovert. That's not me. I'm shy. That's what my daughter, Dr. Ona Brown said. She's not saying that anymore. She's speaking. And I remember I was telling Mike Williams why I couldn't do what I'm doing now. And he said, well, Brownie, talk to you later. And he hung up. Hey, Mike, we lost the signal. He said, no, we didn't. I said, what happened? The line went dead. No, you argue for your limitations. You get to keep them. I'm not interested in that conversation. Hung up again. I called him back. I said, okay, Mike, I'm the one. Let me tell you something. Don't argue with me. I do this I love this. This is me. I came to speak. You came to do something too. And if you got a voice, if you got a story, if you have some experiences and you got through those experiences, you overcame some stuff. Like the lady that I heard the other night, I said, you know something? I don't need no marijuana gummies. I need the real stuff. That, hey, baby. I need the THC and everything in there. Oh my God. But she overcame that. Now I'm coaching her on how to make her liability, her past, an asset for her and others. Because what you went through and what you overcame becomes a survival guide for somebody that's dealing with that right now. Yes, your voice and your story is the master key to financial freedom. Right now, more than ever, the world needs motivation more than ever. More than ever before. With this coronavirus, we ain't never been in a place like this. And when you put on top of that all of the political crazy stuff that's going on now, and when you put on top of that all of the conflict and the stress and the anxiety and the fear that people are experiencing right now, and when you put on that the suicide rate, the violence, the domestic rate, when you put on top of all of that, people losing their jobs, being evicted, foreclosed on, your voice, your story is needed. It's needed. When I tell how I was sleeping on the floor in the Penobscot building in downtown Detroit on Griswold, when I talk about when I was bathing in the sink down the hall, hiding in the closet when the janitorial staff came in, and I didn't want them to see me because I knew they would report it to management. And then a new person came on around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning to clean my office. And they heard the noise in the closet. Something, I think Larry DeAngie, who was with me, we're hiding in the closet. Quietly, we thought. And this person was curious, said, wonder what that is, and opened the door and found Larry DeAngie and I in there in our underwear, hiding in the closet. We had picked up the things. I was sleeping on a sheet. He was sleeping on one of those things that you inflate. And he looked and said, what are y'all doing here? I said, it's not what you think, big boy. He cracked up. I said, man, please don't tell on us. He said, I won't. He said, I wonder what y'all was gonna say. Hey, in the good times, you put it in your pocket. The tough times, you put it in your heart. And if you ask anybody saw me going in the Penobscot building, sleeping in my office on the floor, nobody would have predicted that I'd have gotten the whole floor. No one would have predicted this guy that was bathing in the sink down the hall. No one would have predicted that I would end up speaking in the Georgia Dome before 80,000 people. No one would have predicted that I would produce specials on PBS, raising funds for public television. No one would have predicted that I would end up speaking for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, General Electric. I told a young man yesterday, I said, Roderick, you just got a job. And I was so glad he got a job. So he applied, no, excuse me. He started his own business. He went to apply for a job, and this lady said to him, we're going to pay you $7 an hour. You ought to be proud of yourself. And that gives you room to grow. And considering the flat fact that you are an ex-felon, you ought to really be proud. Roderick has 6 kids. Oh, and by the way, we can only give you 20 hours a week to start off. And if you're good, we'll give you some more hours. How can you take care of yourself, to say nothing of yourself and 6 kids, with $7 an hour, 20 hours a week? You can't. And fortunately, he took the initiative to find something that he could do to earn money for himself and for his children. I admire young men like him. He's not a sperm donor that I'm a product of. He took responsibility for his life. And as a result, I'm mentoring him. He's going to do some great things. Why? Because he's hungry and he knows how to express himself. I'm teaching him now how to do that. Your voice and your story, trust me on this, is your key to financial freedom. There's a process. There's a system. Write this down. You have a power voice. There's another voice in you. And with coaching and training, you have a power voice. I can bring that voice out. We do it all the time. Done it for hundreds of students. And if you're ready to master the key that you have, that's natural. Opportunity knocks on every door. No, it stands by silently, waiting for you to recognize it. Communicating in a laptop, looking at a green light, you can sell products around the world. You can build a multi-level marketing organization. You can start your own business, and your ability to express yourself plays a major key to attract attention, which is the new currency, to hold the attention, which is major, and to direct, to inspire, and to motivate people to join you in what it is you're doing. I want you to put voice in the comment section right now. If that's you, if you can hear me in your heart, because what I'm saying is no big deal. It's common sense, but not common practice. What I'm doing, it's not for everybody. What I teach, it's not for everybody, but it is for people who want to be their own boss. It is for people who want to learn from someone who's experienced, who's achieved a lot, and came from nothing. If I could do it being labeled educable, mentally retarded, being adopted, if my parents came in here right now and said, hello, son, I would not know either one. If I can do it looking like Kid and Play, Kid from House Party, and have fun as I'm speaking to you now, I'm making money now. Non-performance income. This is no theory to me. This is what I do. I will never retire from this. Why? Because it's me. I came to speak. That's my superpower. And some of you watching me now, that's who I'm talking to, that you know, communication, speaking. You've always been complimented on that. That's your superpower. Now more than ever, you are here to monetize it, to change lives, to live a life that will outlive you. And get a flat top, like we used to have in the 80s. Hello? Oh, behave, whatever. When you do something you love and have a lot of fun, why would you retire? Oh, no. Mm-mm. No. And here's something else. This is going to blow your mind. Listen to this. The coronavirus. This is scientifically proven. It took these people and they sprayed a virus in their nose. They were just experimenting. Among that was corona. And the people who did not show negative impact, and they didn't put a fatal amount in there, just enough to trigger sneezing and mucus in their body, 2/3 of them got a cold. But 1/3, they were resilient. They were resistant to the virus. Why? One, they had a spirit of optimism. Let me describe that. That their mindset was, this is not permanent. This is going to change. And that's in alignment with the book of life. This has not come to stay, it has come to pass. The other thing is, they said to themselves, the people who, that 1/3 that was resistant to the virus, they felt that the future was going to be better than what they were going through at that time. Here's something else. They listened to someone who was unreasonable, who looked past what was going on and talked about what can be and affirmed and validated them. You're listening to me? It fortifies your immune system. It strengthens your mental resolve. It allows you to have a vision beyond where you are. He said, I'll give you all your eyes can see. And so what's important as we look at that study, here's the next thing. Are you ready for this? They have fun. I laugh a lot. It boosts your immune system. 1 minute of anger weakens your immune system for 4 to 5 hours. But 1 minute of laughter boosts your immune system for over 24 hours. Oh, behave. Hello. After you get through watching me, you won't get sick for 30 years. However, howsoever, as my mother would say, keep your social distance from people and from the refrigerator. Put voice in the comment section right now if you want me to coach you how to tell that story. I can get the butter from the duck, as Dr. Anthony Sweeting would say. We got a program that's set up. This is a power voice system. I just shared with you just a slither, just a piece of it. If you want the rest and want the immersion process of how to tell your story, how to use your voice to make a difference, to live a life of significance, to inspire people, to be your own voice. You'll be your own boss. Put voice in the comment section. Say, hey, I want Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, Les Brown, with that 1980 flat top. Teach me how to tell my story and give me the key by coaching me to financial freedom. I'm looking forward to working for you. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Put voice in the comment section right now. Put voice in the comment section. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Bye for now.
Listen, I want to go over. I've got all sorts of notes here from comments that were coming in and everything like that. So first things, I got a million messages like this. They love this one. BYOB, be your own boss.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Yeah.
And then we had a comment a long time ago I can't get back to, but it was when you were singing the Kansas City song. They said, voice lessons are definitely paying off.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
And then I wanted to read you this text message that I got during this. And it said, Les is killing me today. We worked for a guy once that we all counted the ums. We even counted the double, triple, and home runs. That's my friend Randy.
Oh my God. Yes, I can hear him. And you know what? It shows a lack of professionalism, because it shows that this person has not cared enough about how they present themselves. People hear you and they judge you by how you communicate. I've seen people who had great credentials. I remember doing a presentation for Procter & Gamble. Everybody that was lined up to go in there and present, they had MBAs and PhDs. I was the only one that did not have a college education. Plus, they had all of this electronic equipment. And I'm looking at them and they were laughing at me because I had a cardboard visual aid. This is the first time I went to do a presentation and answered some article in the newspaper, an ad. And so I came up there and I was proud. I had some good crayon and some people helped me and had my presentation all laid out that I was going to point to, and rolled it up and put a bow around it. It was ready to go in there and unfold it and do my presentation. And when I saw everybody with their computers and their electronic equipment to do their presentation, I went in the bathroom. I said, Les Brown, don't be intimidated by them. Don't be intimidated by their credentials. Don't be intimidated by their electronic equipment. You just go in there and you be you. And when they called me, Les Brown, I came in, and the people who had to make the decision, they were looking, where are your computers? Your assistant bringing them in? No, I don't have an assistant. How are you going to present your PowerPoint? I am the PowerPoint. And they said, oh. And when I finished presenting, telling my story, what they needed, that the major challenges that major corporations are facing is how to keep people engaged, how to help those who are separated and doing work from home feel connected and have a unified vision of what they're doing and where they're going. Got the contract. It has been a competitive advantage for me when I speak, the ability to tell the story about myself, about the product that I represent or the training that I represent, and the work that I do. And everybody, it's the best investment you can make. So I just shared one thing today. And for those of you that want to learn more, there are 21 really principles on how to become a national and world-class speaker that will attract audiences, that will increase your credibility and allow you to earn more money than you could imagine. Since I've been talking in this short time, I've been making money. It's called non-performance income, when you can tell your story and when you can touch people with your voice and bring out their greatness. It's a wonderful thing, because a job is what you get paid for. Your calling is what you are made for.
I like that. I like that a lot. I wanted you to say one more thing too. Would you say again what they called you? Les Brown, the man about town. Will you say that again?
LB Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry.
I love it. I'm so sad I didn't get to listen to your radio show back in the day.
I was bad. Let the record show.
Well, a little bit of Google shows. There's some fun stuff out there.
Yeah, that was back in the day.
I always say we were kind of lucky that not all of our stuff shows on social media, like everyone that's like 15 to 25 now, right?
Yes, absolutely. But if what I said touch anyone that's listening, tell them to put voice in the comment section. This has been Les Brown, the man about town. Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege.
We will be back Tuesday live. Put voice here in the comments, and someone from Les's team will reach out to you if you want to work with Les directly. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week.
Bye for now.